glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the divine lotus feet of Sri Sri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Yamuna Tira Manachari Yamuna Tira Manachari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Hari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Jana Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Ranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Chari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Radha Nila Madhav Radha Nila Madhav Radhe Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada जगत गुरु शिला प्रभुपदा भूपदा जय गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा गुरुदेवा जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर सत श्री श्रीमद एसी भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी शिल प्रभुपाद की जय अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय श्रीमद भागवत पुराण की जय बोल प्रेमानंदे All glories to the assembly glories, all glories to the assembly glories, all glories to the assembly. All glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistuki Shrunavatam Swakatha Krishna Punya Sravana Kirtana Hridyasto hi abhadrani Vidyunoti Shruhasatam. So Hare Krishna everybody. Welcome this morning to the Srimad Bhagavatam discussion. This morning we are going to read from Canto 10, Chapter 84, The Sage's Teaching at Kurukshetra. Text number 64, that is on the board. We will do word by word and then a translation and the purport. Ma Rajya Shri Abhut Pumsaha Shreyas Kamasya Manada Swa Janan Uta Bandhun Va Na Pashyati Yayandha Druk Maharajya Shri Abhut Pumsa Maharajya Shri Abhut Pumsa Shreyas Kamasya Manada Swajananut Bandhunva Na Pashyati Yanandadru Maharajya Shri Abhut Pumsa Shreyas Kamasya Manada Swajananut Bandhunva Na Pashyati Yayandadru Na Pashyati Yayandadru Maharajya Shri Abhut Pumsa Shreyas Kamasya Manada स्वजनान् उत बन्धुन्वा न पश्यति ययान्धद्रुक्. Please. मा राज्य श्रीरभूत् पुंसा श्रेयस्कामस्य मानदा स्वजनानुत बन्धून् वा न पश्यन्ति ययान्धद्रुक्. मा राज्य श्रीरभूत् पुंसा श्रेयस्कामस्य मानदा स्वजनानुत बन्धून् वा न पश्यति ययान्धद्रुक्. मा राज्य श्रीरभूत् पुंसा श्रेयस्कामस्य मानदा स्वजनानुत बन्धून् वा न पश्यति ययान्धद्रुक्. मा राज्य श्रीरभूत् पुंसा श्रेयस्कामस्य मानदा स्वजनानुत बन्धून् वा न पश्यति ययान्धद्रुक्. मा राज्य श्रीरभूत् पुंसा श्रेयस्कामस्य मानदा स्वजनानुत बन्धून् वा न पश्यति ययान्धद्रुक्. माताजी. मा राज्य श्रीरभूत् पुंसा श्रेयस्कामस्य मानदा स्वजनानुत बन्धून् वा न पश्यति ययान्धद्रुक्. मा राज्य श्रीरभूत् पुंसा श्रेयस्कामस्य मानदा स्वजनानुत बन्धून् वा न पश्यति ययान्धद्रुक्. मा may not Rajya royal, Shri fortune, Abhuta arise, Pumsaha for a person, Shreyaha the real benefit of life, Kamasya who desires, Manada O giver of respect, Swajanan his kinsmen, Ut even, Bandhun his friends, Va or Na pashyati he does not see, Yaya by which opulence, Andha blinded, Druk whose vision. Translation and a purport by the disciple of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. Yeah. O most respectful one, may a person who wants the highest benefit in life never gain kingly opulence, for it leaves him blind to the needs of his own family and of friends. Purport. It is, of course, out of his deep humility that Vasudeva is berating himself, but his condemnation of opulence is in general valid. Earlier in this canto, Narad Muni delivered a stinging criticism of Nalakuvar and Manigriva, two wealthy sons of Kuvera, the treasurer of heaven. Intoxicated by both pride and liquor, the two had failed to offer proper respects to Narad when he happened upon them as they sported naked in a Mandakini river with some young women. Seeing them in their shameful condition, Narad said, Nahi anyo jusato josyan buddhi brahmaso rajoguna Shrimadad abhijate jatadir yatra sri dyutam asvaha. Among all the attractions of material enjoyment, the attraction of riches bewilders one's intelligence more than having beautiful bodily features, taking birth in an aristocratic family, and being learned. When one is uneducated but falsely puffed up by wealth, the result is that one engages in wealth in enjoying wine, women, and gambling. This is reference from the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 10, text number 8. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chaksurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Radha Govinda Goswami Ti Namine. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Ti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyata Deshatarine Vancha Kalpataruvasya Kripa Sindhuve Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. So, very nice verse. Maharaj Shrir Abhut Pumsa. Ma. Sanskrit word M-A, Ma-A. Ma. In different places or another place, the ma is translated as a not. Absolute, when you say don't do it or not, means it's absolute, negative. But here, the disciple of Srila Prabhupada translates that into may not. May means there is a possibility that there is a some. And most of the time, it's not. Why did they translate like that? So we will see that into the purport in a minute. Another word here translated Shri, fortune. Okay? Fortune generally translates into the riches in the dollars and the rupees, dollar and the cents. Okay? So here in this particular text, okay, Vasudeva, the father of Vasudeva, Lord Shri Krishna, he is in a purport he says bragging, means essentially he's hard on himself. He's saying that one should not get a kingdom, one should not get a riches. Here he says Rajya Shrir. Shrir means fortune. Should not get the Rajya, means a kingdom, or the riches. Why is that? Because if you look at the translation, it says if one is rich or has so much opulence, then they get blinded. Blinded means they have a one-track mind, only me, me, and me. Okay? They don't think about anybody else. And also, with riches comes power, because everybody sees, oh, he is a rich man, so they respect that person. They overly respect that person and don't look at any other aspect of that person, whether that person is intelligent or not, has a good character or not, but ignore all other qualities that one might see in all the living entities, or should see in all the living entities. But they don't. Only thing they see is money, money, and money. And out of that, that person gets all the ego. Oh, I am being respected by so many people, okay? I am the richest person in the town or in the country or in the world, okay? And that ego that blinds that person. And that person is not able to see the needs of the other people. To the extent that here in this particular translation, Vasudeva says that even the family members, because in this case, Vasudeva is hard on himself because he was not able to help Nanda Baba. And Krishna, because Kansa was trying to kill Krishna. And he was not able to help them. Of course, he was not in a position to be able to do, but still, he feels so bad about it, he feels so remorseful, or he's so hard on himself that he thinks that, one should not get it. Now, I said earlier about the word ma, may not. Why is the translation here is a may not rather than just saying ma, no, not, okay? Vasudeva here, like I said, he's being hard on himself. He is not that type of person that he was blinded. He was a devotee of the Lord. So for certain people like him to have those riches is not a bad thing, because they are always going to think about the other people, welfare of the other people. Okay? We see this in material world also. There are some people who are rich, okay? Probably top 50 people in the world or top 100 people or whatever. Some of them are doing such a wonderful philanthropic work. They may be using that money for some other things behind the scene that we may not be aware of it. But some of them are doing a wonderful thing. Okay? They go out in the third world countries or underdeveloped countries, help them with the medicine, help them with the food, the immunization for the children, all that type of services that they provide. So some people do provide that kind of help with the money that they have. But there are some, only thing they want is wine, women, and gambling. Srila Prabhupada repeats, has quoted these three things so many times in the Bhagavatam, in his purport, which is true. And that's what here in this purport it says. It is, of course, out of his deep humility that Vasudeva is berating himself. And this is the part, very important. But his condemnation of the opulence in general is valid. So the purport itself says that this condemnation, that one should not have the riches, okay, who cannot handle it. How many times we have seen when somebody, take an example of the jackpot, lotto, okay? Somebody who doesn't have any money, okay? And all of a sudden they win 10 million, 5 million. What to speak of $500 million jackpot or $400 million jackpot? What do you think? How do you think that person is going to handle that riches? They can't handle it. They can't handle. I'm sorry, you were going to say something.
I was just going to say on that point, 90% of people lose all their money by 10 years.
Yeah. Yeah. And not only that, but there are studies done Emotionally, they are stressed, and a number of them commit suicide. They can't handle the money. So in this case here, it says opulence in generally is not good for the people who cannot handle it. So in order to handle the money or the riches, or for that matter, not just the riches only, not just the dollars and the cents, but the power. You know, sometimes when somebody gets the power, then they really go through the roof, okay? And they do whatever they want to do. And they don't have any consideration of the implications that might have on the other people's life, okay? Or how is that going to affect positively or negatively to the people? So the riches, the power, all of those things kind of go hand in hand, okay? So in order for somebody, and Srila Prabhupada explains this very nicely also in one of the purport, that somebody to be able to handle the riches or the power should have enough education, okay? Education does not necessarily mean somebody who has a PhD from the Rice University or MIT or anything like that. Education means what is the purpose of the life. Here in this particular text, there is a discussion about it. It says, what is this one, oh most respectful one, may a person who wants the highest benefit in life, that person should have education or knowledge enough about what is the highest benefit that one should derive from this human form of life. If that person has that knowledge, then that person would be able to handle the riches or the opulence and or power that comes with it. So what is the highest purpose or highest benefit of the life? Okay? The highest benefit of the life is to attain the love of Godhead. That is the highest. Otherwise, there are animals who eat, mate, defend, all those activities that animals perform, we are also performing. But in human form of life, which we gain, human form of life, after going through the 8.4 million species of life. So you have to go through such a pain to get the human form of life. We should take advantage of that and get some benefit out of it. And that benefit is spiritual benefit, and that is the love of Godhead. So if you have that education, if you have a spiritual education like that, then you will be able to handle your riches or your opulence or the power. In this particular verse, in the purport, the disciples of Srila Prabhupada giving a very nice example of a Nalkuvar and a Manigriva. Nalkuvar and Manigriva were the son of Kuvera, not our Kuvera Prabhu. Kuvera is the richest person. He has all the control on the money. And he had two sons, Nalkuvar and Manigriva. And they were so puffed up, according to this purport here. Okay, again, we see this in the material world also. The kids who are born with a more than a silver spoon, gold spoon, or whatever, those kids, a lot of time, are misguided. They are into drugs. and they are into all kind of trouble. Okay? So, Kuvera's sons were not exception to that. They were in trouble also, and they got caught by Narad Muni. I'm not going to go into all the details here, but they got caught into trouble by the Narad Muni, and the Narad Muni cursed him not to penalize him, but cursed them to help them become God conscious. They said, okay, you want to remain naked? You want to take a bath in a river like that? So go take a birth as a tree and remain naked. But the positive thing was, like I said, Narad Muni always, the sages always, when they curse, they do it for the benefit of the person. So they say, okay, you will take a birth in the angan or in the front of the house of Nanda Maharaj, where Lord Krishna is going to appear. And that's what happens. And Lord Krishna, when he was tied to Ukkal mortar, and he saved them by knocking down those 2 trees. And that's how he liberates them. Here, the point is related to this particular verse. The point is that Kubera's son, even though they are demigods, live in a higher planetary system, what to speak of the human beings in this material world. Now, that should not give us an excuse, oh, I'm a human being, and if Lord demigod son can do that, I can do it, That's not an excuse we should be using. What we should be learning is that they are not exception. If they are bad, they get penalized also, okay? So we need to learn from particular verse here and from this that material enjoyment or the riches or the wealth that comes, along with that comes a responsibility, okay? To be able to help, to be able to see the family members' needs, and that's what Vasudeva was talking about it. Here in this particular verse, that reference in a 10:10:8, I'm going to go to that verse. Sri Narad Muni is discussing this. It's in chapter 10 of the Canto 10, chapter 10, text number 8. The title of this chapter is Deliverance of Yamala Arjun Trees. Okay. I'm going to read the translation again. It says, Narad Muni said, among all the attractions of material enjoyment, the attraction of riches bewilders one's intelligence. So, as I was saying, when you have that money, the riches, then your ego goes up. Why does the ego go up? Because your intelligence is gone. You're not thinking correctly. Okay? That's what they are saying here. The attraction of riches bewilders one's intelligence more than having a beautiful bodily features. So we have talked about Shri Shri Radha Nilamadhava ki. Yeah. So there are different kind of opulences. When we talked about one of them was a power, one of them was a Lakshmi or riches. Here is another kind of opulence, bodily features. Taking birth in aristocratic family, okay? And being a learned. A learned, I refer to being the PhD for MIT or Harvard or whatever, okay? That's not what learned means in real sense, but here is referenced as college education, okay? Being a learned. It's compared here is that the material attraction, material enjoyment, wine, women, and gambling is so strong that is stronger than even somebody who is really beautiful or a handsome guy, okay? Or somebody who has taken birth in a rich family, or somebody's gotten multiple PhDs from Cambridge or whatever, okay? All of those compared to that, material enjoyment is stronger, okay? And that material enjoyment just bewilders individual to the extent that they forget that. Now, how does that happen? Those people who are in this particular environment, by association, by influence of the mode of ignorance and passion, they indulge in wine, in meat eating, and women. And these are the things we know from Srimad Bhagavatam are the place of living for who? Kali Yuga. Right? When Parikshit Maharaj gave permission to Kali Yuga, he was going to kill Kali Yuga. The Kali Yuga asked for place to live. He says, I am one of your living entity in your kingdom. I got to, you got to protect me just like you protect other people in your kingdom. So Kali Yuga was given a place to live where there was wine, prostitution, gambling, and meat eating. Okay? So when you have these, in this particular verse, this Narad Muni is talking about it, and in a purport, Srila Prabhupada talks about it, is that because, this is, I think the 10th chapter was translated by Prabhu, purport by Prabhupada. I'm not sure. Anyway, it talks about those four things, that these are the four things in the age of Kali that destroys the individual and takes them in a mode of ignorance and puts them into the atheistic position or whatever you want to call it. The best solution for all of us is to really become God conscious, Krishna conscious. Okay? Understand as I was saying earlier, with riches comes the responsibility. With authority comes the responsibility. Okay? So in this society, as a grahastha, you have to have that responsibility. That's what Vasudeva was talking about. Of course, he's not one of those persons whose ego was puffed up. He was berating himself. He was being hard on himself to talk about that. Okay? Now, I'm going to look at my notes, see whether I'm leaving out any points. If not, then I'm going to open up for question or comment or correction. Okay, looks like I covered. Oh, here is one purport Srila Prabhupada uses very nicely. I want to read that. This is from Canto 1, Chapter 5, text number 10. It says, crows and swans are not birds of the same feather. Crows and a swan are not the birds of the same feather, means they are not same. Because of their different mental attitudes, the fruitive workers or passionate men are compared to the crows, whereas all the perfect saintly persons are compared to the swans. So all the people who enjoy the material sense gratification, here Srila Prabhupada further writes very nicely. I'll finish reading and then I'll talk. The crows take the pleasure in a place where garbage is thrown out. Crows, આપણે ગુજરાતીમાં કાગડો કહીએ ને, the crows take pleasure in a place where garbage is thrown out, just as the passionate fruiter workers take pleasure in wine and women and places for gross sense pleasure. This is the definitely purport written by Srila Prabhupada in Canto 1, Chapter 5. The swans do not take pleasure in the places where crows are assembled for conferences and a meeting. Srila Prabhupada is trying to point out the importance of the association. Prabhupada says the swans don't go where the crows are. Because what crows are doing? Wine women and eating meat. Essentially, crows eats whatever is thrown into the garbage. No clean place, right? Swan is very nice, clean, okay? So one should associate with swans. Here, swans are referred to the devotees or the people who are in a Krishna consciousness rather than associating with the worldly-minded, materialistic people. Okay? I'll stop here. Anybody has any comment, correction, question?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
So somewhere in Srimad Bhagavatam, I don't know which canto, but it says that Janma Aishwarya Shruta Sibir Edaman Madaha Punan Na Eva Hati Abhidhatum Va Tvam Akinchana Gocharana. That take birth in a aristocratic family, good birth,
Kunti
good
Maharani's
education,
player.
beauty. All this is the impediments to advance in spiritual life. Unless and until one become exhausted by all material opulence, then and then he can attain the love of God.
Lotus fear.
So I think that we see that so much you are talking about the knowledge, intelligence and like that. But I feel that faith is more important, because ultimately we have to surrender to Krishna. And surrendering means to become dependent on Him. So if we have, unless and until we have a good faith in Krishna, it's very difficult to become dependent. We are lacking the faith. That's the reason, we hold on to ourselves. We don't want to become dependent. But the real qualification to become advanced in spiritual life is to become totally dependent on the mercy of Krishna. And we have seen so many great examples in Srimad Bhagavatam that whoever has shown their dependency on Krishna, Krishna has always helped them. So my question to you is, after reading all these things, what is there that the devotees still keep on holding those things, which is, we know by reading the books, but still what is there missing that they cannot imply into their life?
Okay. Very excellent question, actually. Prabhuji, the text you refer to, it comes from the Kunti Maharani's prayer. And in that prayer, Kunti Maharani says that one who has taken high birth, who has a high education like PhDs and all those kind of things, and has riches and who are on their way actually, not only who already has, But people who are already on their way to being rich or materialistic people, they cannot really approach you. Kunti Maharani says that. In another verse, I don't remember the text number, but in a conversation, actually in at the Rajasuya Yagna, at the Yudhishthira Maharaj. Yudhishthira Maharaj and asked that question, that how come your devotees are poor? And maybe I may not be quoting exactly, but the verse is, in that Lord Krishna himself says that if I favor somebody, I take the riches away from that person. Okay? Maybe somebody remembers that text. So the point is, how come we know all of these things, and that's your point. We know all of these things, and how come we are still not have developed 100% faith in Krishna? Prabhuji, this is my take on it. We have accumulated so much material desire, so many material desires over so many years, of so many different lives that we had. Until that heart is clean, you are not going to have, I'm not going to have 100% faith. Is this going to happen overnight? Probably not. Maybe if some event happened in the life, my life, whatever, that might change. But I don't see somebody changing overnight. And this is my take also, and I have heard Srila Prabhupada talk about this. This faith you are not going to develop, Srila Prabhupada says. You're not going to become 100% Krishna conscious. Tomorrow when you wake up, you say, okay, I'm 100% Krishna conscious. Srila Prabhupada even says in one of the Nectar of Devotion class, recorded in class of Srila Prabhupada says it's a gradual process, but we should be steady. We should be steady and make progress. In education, we know that if we don't make a progress, we're going to fall down. So, and personally speaking, my goal is to incrementally keep making the progress. I may not reach where I need to reach in this lifetime, but I'm hoping that I will continue to make that progress, and maybe in the next life. I don't want to do that. I want to do that in this life. Am I going to be able to do that? I don't know. Without Lord's help and without the help of the devotees, I am not automatically on my own going to develop that faith. And until I get that heart clean. And that's the reason we say, Nashta prayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya. Okay? Shravanam kirtanam. So all of these things I'm hoping will help clean our heart, and slowly maybe I will develop that faith. I have seen people here in our Iskcon temple. They are getting closer, okay, to the Krishna, in making progress. There is no, Radha Govind Maharaj one time made a really nice comment in one of his class. He says, there is no barometer, there is no machine that you put on somebody's forehead and say, okay, you are at 59 or you are at 40 or you are at 80 or 90%. You have to know within your own heart where you are and where you need to reach. All of that comes, like you say, with the faith. And that faith, once we develop that faith, forget about all the riches, forget about all the education, power, and everything else. The time will come, then you are going to be able to say, okay, Krishna, I am surrender. I'm not worried about my house. I'm not worried about my wife or spouse or kids or anybody else. Or I'm not going to worry about saving enough money for my retirement so that when I can't walk or can't do anything, that I have something to support me with. That is the faith, when we get to that level, then you're going to see what you are talking about it. We're going to be able to go to Krishna and say, Krishna, what do you want me to do now? I'm yours. That's my take. Please share your thoughts. Anybody else? Any comment? Yes, Prabhuji. Come a little closer. I have to do these.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you very much for class.
Thank you.
I just wanted to make a comment.
Okay.
In addition,
A little louder.
I mean, you did mention Maharaj Yudhisthira, but I was just thinking that we're also listening to the section about the Rajasuya sacrifice in Maharaj's Srimad Bhagavatam reading, and yeah, just hearing about Maharaj Yudhisthira, how he actually received all the opulence that actually rivaled even Brahma's kingdom. And we see that he knew exactly what to use it for, and it was just for the glorification of Krishna. He was trying to actually attract others to Krishna as well, and so he can say that when they see all his opulence, he can point to Krishna and say, by worshiping him, I've received all this. And yeah, so when you actually understand that when you're in that state of surrender and you know you're fully dependent and you know that Krishna is the owner of everything, and then actually the wealth comes to you. You know how to properly manage it. His example.
Let me make one comment, final closing comment, and then we'll close it. Riches are not bad. Amrish Maharaj, look at Amrish Maharaj. He was a king. He had all the opulences, but he was a devotee of the Lord. So that's what I was saying. Vasudev, he is the father of Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is berating himself. He is being hard on himself. He says, I should not have gotten a kingdom. He was not that type of person. He was a devotee. So riches are not necessarily a bad thing. Riches are good. How you use it. Okay? So with that comment, I'm going to close the class. Srimad Bhagavat Puran ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Bol Premanande.